well that he was representing the country in the ASEAN summit.
Anong gusto niyang mangyari kung saan ako, nasaan ang presidente? You know, I am sure that you should, you knew of the Asian summit going on, ASEAN, and that I was delivering the intervention, the statement of intervention for China as the China coordinator, ASEAN China. And I was also making my own statement of how the ASEAN approved documents would impact on our economy later on. Hindi ako natutulog.
And while it's true that hashtag Nasa ng Pangulo trended early last week, Robredo never tweeted this phrase. President Duterte also called Robredo weak, saying she was wrong to demand that Duterte give orders on the day of the typhoon. Again, Robredo never made any remarks that solicited orders from the president last week.
Assuming that I should be giving orders on the day of the storm. That is stupid. That is why you cannot become a president, really. Mahina ka eh. Wala ka nang ibigay ang order kasi ang order na ibigay na 2 or 3 days. You do not give orders on the day of the war. Patay ka. So I hate to say this, but kung gano'n ka, huwag kang magtakbo ng president. Talagang mahina ka. You do not know and then you lied. You were not honest.
Last night, the president also announced that he signed a proclamation putting the entire Luzon under a state of calamity. Let's take a deep dive into that and the claims made by the president last night. Marcel Halili joins us live from Mandaluyong City, Mase. Let's start with the declaration of that state of calamity over the whole of Luzon. Now, what we know is that LGUs in Luzon can now tap into their emergency funds under a state of calamity, but do they still have enough funds in their war chests?
Yeah, Sean, you're right. President Duterte last night mentioned that he already signed a proclamation declaring the state of calamity in the whole of Luzon. Based on the report of Budget Secretary Wendell Avisado, he said that we still have 6.8 billion pesos disaster fund. So we can use that for the onslaught of Typhoon Quinta, Rolly, and Ulysses. But aside from that, the Malacanang has already ordered the DBM to release additional funds. And so Budget Secretary Avisado also mentioned that they will release additional 10 billion pesos for the LGU. So far, we have a 0.7 billion out of the 6.8 billion pesos budget allocated for the Quick Response Fund.
All right, so in preparation for future natural disasters, Mase, did the president mention anything about a stronger or need for a stronger evacuation system and maybe infrastructure across the country?
He did mention that, Sean. Actually, it has been part of the plan of the administration to build evacuation center per city and municipality, but they still have to have a concrete plan on how to do that and probably a law to ensure that there will be at least one evacuation center, especially now that we're having trouble because of the pandemic.
All right, Marcel, let's move on to the more matunog part of what the president said last night. We all know that he did say a lot of things about Vice President Leni Robredo, and everyone is saying that, and we all know this, she did not say those things. So what happened there?
Yes, it seems that President Duterte last night already loses patience with all these criticisms bombarded against the administration, especially after the nasaan ng Pangulo become a trend on social media. But like what you said, Vice President Leni Robredo did not mention anything about it at the height of Typhoon Ulysses, even at the height of Typhoon Rolly. But as President mentioned last night, he is not missing in action. He attended the ASEAN summit and he spoke before the heads of state of the ASEAN members. And but then he said that it seems that for the president, Vice President Leni Robredo is behind all the accusation that he was missing in action. But like what you said, the Vice President did not mention anything about that. But it became a trend in social media, especially when the effect of Typhoon Ulysses became very visible in Cagayan, because it was Vice President Leni Robredo who was awake all night to coordinate with the armed forces, asking whether the choppers were already sent to Cagayan for a rescue operation. But the president mentioned that the vice president did not need to do that because he already made the coordination prior to the typhoon, because that's how a president handles a situation. That's at least according to the president.
All right, I'm sure some clarity a little later on from the Palace press briefing. Thank you, though, so much for that update. Marcel Halili reporting to us live from Mandaluyong. And one of the most controversial statements made by the president last night was a sexist remark directed towards a vice president, where he asked Robredo where she has been spending her nights. Duterte implied that the vice president has been hopping around different houses every night. In response, the vice president shared a video showing volunteers of the OVP still sorting out relief goods in the dead of the night. In her caption, Robredo chided Duterte for his sexist joke, saying, "When the president is a misogynist, the discussion goes down to this level." Robredo humored Duterte's question, saying she spends her nights in her office for weeks now to ensure the delivery of relief aid to everyone who needs it. Robredo also denied ever asking the president about his whereabouts during the onslaught of Typhoon Ulysses. She called out whoever told the president that Robredo started the whole "Nasaan ang Pangulo" hashtag because she never took part in it. The VP also said there's no room for politicians' ego when the lives of their constituents are at stake. The vice president added that there's no competition when it comes to helping the public. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.